Welcome to the beginning of the course. By now, I hope you've watched the first video so you understand a little bit about layering, which is a very important function of making any vector graphics in Keynote or anywhere else for that matter. Let's dive in, open up Keynote, and let's get started. This is some fun stuff. Here is going to be about background colors. This might not be an exciting lesson, but you will learn some new things. And the whole idea here is we're going to learn what we need just in time to do the next. It's a progressive skill building set of lessons coming up right now. So we're here right now, right? And you can see over here, this is how I can select different slides. Of course, I can add slides like this, generally just go with a blank one. However, if I had something I liked and wanted to reuse it, I could just Command D and add that one in there. Here we are. If I had anything on here, like anything like a shape or a line, anything at all, as you can see, whenever I select something, you can zoom in with your fingers on the trackpad. Spread them apart to zoom in, push them together to zoom out. Whenever I select something, I can see that it's selected by these little boxes around it, right? Now, in the case of the background, if I just have nothing, now it says over here, slide layout. That's what I want to do. With nothing selected, we're telling the MacBook what to do with the slide itself. So we're going to go over here, do something kind of fancy. If you just do a color fill, you can choose any colors you like. There are a bunch here. You can get fancier over here, different ways to find colors. I like these ones. I could just make it plain green. If it was the sky, perhaps I could do it like this, or if it's later at night, or like this. But what about at night instead of just black? What if we did an advanced gradient fill? It automatically chooses the last color you've used or this one. Over here, I can click this and make it the opposite. Now, if I want it to be nighttime, I might choose a black, and then I might choose like a dark purple. And somewhere in between now, you can see I'm grabbing different gradients of the same color. I can grab this, get rid of it, makes a cool sound. So now you can see how we can do all kinds of different things here with a background color. We're going to use this as well sometimes, making characters and other objects for our animations and our vector graphics as we get more complicated. But for now, that's all you really need. Not sure backwards or forwards here, but we're going to learn more about layering right now. We're going to make a very simple cartoon face. We're going to start off by adding a slide. You do that by simply going to plus slide, grabbing a blank one. All right, so now let's start by making a circle, constraining proportions, and then adding size and color to it. So simply up here in shapes and basic, get a circle. Now this is a bit tricky here, but over here in format, arrange, if I constrain the proportions now, it'll stay a circle no matter what I do, which is what we're after. Let's make it nice and big. I like to make things big. You can even zoom in if you need to by moving your fingers again on the trackpad in and out away from each other. Let's choose a color, a good face color, shall we? If I go over here, you can even drag this over here. Let's go to this one perhaps. No, this one. Start with something like this. If we want to, we can go over here. Make it a little darker or change the color a little bit, maybe a little less orange. Great. Okay, so now I've got this, right? Now I can select this, Command D, move that over here, easier to see. Now I've got two of them, as you can see, right? This one, I want to make an eyeball, so I'm going to go over here to color fill. I'm going to make it white. It's in the way, white. Now I might even add a border to that. Now I can change the size. I think that border's a little too thick for the eyeball I want. I might even go back to arrange and unconstrained proportions because I don't want a circular eye. I want something kind of like this, perhaps. Maybe this one I'll add a format style border as well. More of a cartoony feel. If I grab this and Command D again, make that black over here. And I can change it around a bit. I kind of got an eyeball going here now. If I hold down the Shift key and I click on this, you'll notice now they're both selected. Command Option G groups them. If I undo that, Command Z, very good for undoing things. You can also go to Arrange and group this way if that's easier for you. Command D, again for duplicate. Now I have 2 eyeballs. Put them where I like. You can see they're all aligned. Let's do something tricky with the mouth, okay? Shape. Now this is a big one over here. Draw with pen. I tap once, twice, and I double tap to close it. Now I've got a line. If I double tap on this, any square you double tap becomes rounded, becomes a curve instead of an angle. Might make that a little thicker for the mouth. Now I've got myself a cartoon face. If I click and drag and grab everything, again over here, format, arrange, group, makes that into one thing, and I can move that around wherever I like. So now we've got the eye done, and we're ready to go. We can add this to anywhere, and we can start making other characters, adding ears and hair and a body. But let's stick with this one first, okay? Make yourself a face just like described now. Challenge. Watch this. Shape, circle, color, a cute brown. Nice and roundy. Maybe flatter. No border to align. Maybe make it a bit thicker. Got our face. Command D duplicates it. Command, and then I can make it smaller. Easier if I grab the corner perhaps. Command D duplicates it. Black. Or no, pink. Make it smaller still. Put it over here. Shift click, Command Option G groups it. Command D duplicates it. Over here, flip it. Bring that over here, bring this over here. Grab this one, bring it to the arrange, format arrange front. Command D duplicates it. Style, color, white. Make it smaller. Whoa, that's weird, right? Careful, if you double tap inside, you can type. You don't want to do that. Get a little rounder, maybe. Command duplicate, black. Make it smaller again. Bring it up over here. Shift click, Command Option G group, Command D duplicate, flip it. Except, I don't like it. Double tap, I gotta move this with my arrows up a little bit. There we go. Command D duplicate it. Flip it around this way. See how fast we're making a cute little teddy bear here? Tap, tap, just this. Command C, copy, get out of there. Command V, paste. Cute little nose. I like it flatter than that. Shape. Close this. Draw with pen. Tap. 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 Double tap to close it. Round it off. Enter. Make it thick. Let's go to 8. Command D duplicates it. Again to format arrange, flips it. Drag it over like this. Use your arrows to move it. Boom, there we go. 2-minute cute teddy bear. I don't expect you to be as fast, but next thing, if you really want to go crazy, you can add some like shadows to it and things. Make it a little bit higher on the cutesy scale. Black. Transparent. What do you think? Cuter? There you go. There's a 2-minute quick teddy bear challenge for you once you've done your simple cartoon face. Good luck. Have fun. We're going to go a little farther here. We're going to make an underwater sea picture. Let's start by making a new slide. Over here, add slide, grab a blank one. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check out the dimensions, because if we start making something, thinking maybe we're going to print it out or make a movie about it, we should make it probably, for a movie say, let's make it the dimensions for a good YouTube video, which I hope some of you will get to. Over here, we have format, animate, and document. In document, down here, we want to go to slide size and custom slide size. That's going to be 1280 tab by 720. I hit enter, and you'll notice it changes the size. We see now it's 1280 by 720. Even just go over here and just type that in there so we can see it and remember it. I'll put this also in the lesson, 1280 by 720. So now we're going to start by making a sky background with advanced gradient fill, which we've already practiced, then the shape of the sea, advanced gradient fill, before we start using clip art to add elements. Let's go over here. So the sky, format, nothing is here, so nothing is selected. I go over here to advanced gradient fill. I think we made perhaps a sky before, so we can actually use this color if we like. Now for the sea. I grab the draw with pen. Now watch this, I just tap things here and there, and it doesn't matter. The sea doesn't have angles, it's not pointy like this. I close this because that is a shape now. Now I can make it more like waves. And now, when I add a color, it'll fill in nicely. We don't draw with lines, it's not like using a pencil. Go to advanced gradient fill again. What color do we want this to be? If I grab this, let's go over here. Dark blue. Green is also a color of the sea, right? So we can do whatever we want, really. No, that's not good, is it? And then maybe over here I can reverse it because it gets darker as you go under the sea. We can leave the line or we can get rid of the line. So now we've got the sky and we've got the sea. I can move it down here if I want more sky, it's up to us. The next thing we're going to add is go to shapes over here. We can just type in up here fish. F-I-S-H. F-I-S-H. Grab a fish. Pop it in somewhere. And we can make it really big to work on and make it smaller later. Maybe this fish is going to be orange. And maybe it's going to have a border. We want it to look kind of cartoony, right? Maybe it's going to have a thicker border than that. Let's stick with 4, because keep in mind, when you make it smaller, it looks thicker compared to the rest of it. All right, now back over here to shape. Remember how we made an eye before? Basic, circle. Over here, format arrange. I want this one to be round, keep it like this. Back to style, because we want the color fill over here. Simple color fill of white with a border. Is that where the eyeball goes? It's up to you. Command, what? Duplicates it? Duplicate starts with a D. Command D, make it black. Make it smaller. He's looking over that way. Now, actually, we can do something else here. With the shape, draw with pen tool again. We can go tap, tap, and then over here, tap, tap. So that line is closed. Now we can make this rounded and make it thicker. Maybe 4 is good. We can hit enter, now it's done. It's still selected, so I can use the arrow keys to move it up a little bit. And here's a big tip, format arrange. I can even twist it a little bit so it looks a little better, and then use the arrow keys. Back over here, I like it. So now I can, if I'm holding on the shift key while I click on every little bit, you see how I'm selecting everything? And then over here, format arrange, we can group it like that. Now we have ourselves a fish. What else do we talk about? Seaweed. Draw with pen. Let's make something that looks a bit like a tree. Just tappity tap. Bunch of different things. Doesn't have to be perfect. Don't spend your whole life on it. So I'm just tapping, tapping, tapping. And then again, close it. Now, if I double tap, I can start making things, make it look more like it's underwater, right? You can even grab things halfway through and bend them a little bit. Because you don't see a lot of seaweed with perfectly straight lines, do you? Especially not underwater. Okay, not bad. Grab that. What color? You like that green? Nice contrast, or we can make it a darker green. We can make a bunch of different ones if we want, actually. So now check this out. I've got this now. I'm not going to constrain proportions because I can just keep duplicating so many of them and then just moving them all over the place. Now keep in mind with layering, this is on top of this, right? If you wanted, I could grab this and go to format front and put it in front of some of them. Give it some depth. So now I can move this way and that way. Whoa, this is cool. Actually, format arrange. I can flip it the other way. Or I could change the color of some of them. And now, if I shift click a bunch of them like this, I can change some colors all at once, save some time. So now we've got ourselves an undersea scene. And now, keep in mind this gray part you don't see. So you could actually go and press play, and that's what it looks like, right there. If you wanted to go in, you could add something else. What else do we have? I typed in SEA for sea. Grab that, make that orange too maybe. Over here. And then format a range, I can send it to the back. Oh, it disappeared. Let's bring it forward. Okay, that's good. Let's add a few more things. What else might we find at the very bottom? Might find this guy over here. We can go over here, we can twist him around, or we can really twist him around. I don't think he's black, so maybe he's red. Again, go to back. Oops, it's behind everything. Forward, forward, forward. Now we've got ourselves a little bit of a picture. Flower that I've made, you can see here, Command Option Shift G releases it, so now it's no longer grouped, and you can see how it's made out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think 9 different shapes. However, really it's just 1, 2, 3 shapes, and the other ones have been changed, had the colors changed, been moved around, and joined together. So let's grab one of these things here, and you can see how that one looks. Let's just draw that now, okay? Very simply up here, and now the draw with pen, the most powerful feature. And we just dot it just in a couple of places. The fewer the better. We're not looking for perfection, because once we start making things, we just round off these ones. And this I'm gonna grab, see when I point here it goes like so. I can zoom it in like that. I can change the shape even once I've started it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but let's make it as close as we can. Great. Now if I grab the outside of that, I can see that's an advanced gradient fill, and there's a color, but not exactly the color we want, is it? I grab this, put it over here. I can even make it the opposite, or like this. Now we can go and change to the exact same color. So I grab this, and now the eyedropper, I can get that color. Grab this, grab the eyedropper, and I can get that color. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. I can move this around. I can bring this in a little more. Bring this down a little more. If I really wanted to, I could actually go to Style over here, Format Style. I can save that as a preset. So then I grab this one, and I can make it exactly the same color. Boom, just one tick. I think I like it better like that. Okay, so now I've got one right there, right? So I can actually, if I want to, I can just Command D will duplicate that. Once again, over in Arrange here, I can spin it around. Command D, duplicate. Spin it around some more. And you can see I've just done one shape and I'm using it to make a whole new thing here. So now if I hold down my Shift key and I click all of these things, Command Option G groups it. So now it acts as one thing. So I could actually go in here now, Shift click on all these ones and just delete them. Don't even need them anymore. What's this back here? Oh, it looks like I've drawn that, but we can make it even more simply by getting a star and grabbing this. We can add more points to it. Style, color wheel, over here to this eyedropper, we can get exactly the same thing in there. Not exactly the same, but it's pretty darn close, and we can definitely use it. Make it pointier if we want. And what do we have here? Let's zoom in on this. That's easy, check it out. Gonna blow your minds here. Tap only here on these points, which looks nothing like what we want, but now I close it. So now that's an object, and I can point here and I can just drag these things out. Make it orange, hit enter so it's done. I can go over here, make it yellow, drag it over here, get rid of this one. Don't even know why that's there. Command duplicate, make it orange, make it a bit smaller. Put it in there like so. Click and drag. Command Option what?
G for group. So now I can get rid, shift click and delete. Now you see over here that I can just use this to make my very own version now. This over here, put it in the background, group that, Command Option what? G, that's right. Bring this over, dump this in the front, I can make it bigger. And I've made my own flower here now. If I wanted to, I can double tap even when it's grouped and I can move things around, fill in all those little empty spaces. And there we go. I can go Command A to grab it all, Command Option G to group it. I've just made myself a flower. If I grab this over here, I tap on the slide, it's yellow, Command D duplicates the slide. Now I can go over here and let's play with the colors. Let's make that bright red, make that one different kind of red. Over here in Format Style, I can make that a preset. Now I just tap on these, and I can change it to a different kind of flower, so we can arrange it, make like a flower arrangement. Or I can make it small and use a bunch of them. So now if I want, I can grab this, Command C copies it, go over here, Command V pastes it, and I can have a whole bunch of these things. I can make some kind of a floral arrangement if I want. Make a couple more, move them around, change the size. Keep in mind when you duplicate it goes to the front, so if that's not what you want, you can go over here and send it to the back. And you see now I've got the beginning of a floral arrangement.
Let's send them to the back and bring them forward. Let's make them even a bit smaller. Put them over here. So now, animate, build in. Simply, we can just go with move in, and he moves in like that. He bounced. You notice that bounce? I don't like it. I want him to come in slower too, so let's try that. Preview. Comes in slowly now. Now in action, we can add something called a move. Always goes to the right. That's okay for this one, I like that. Put him here, and put this guy here. Now I want to see where he goes again, so if I tap on there I can see, where's he going to end up? Preview it. Alright, so let's grab this guy now and have him build in. This is a cool part too. You can do move in again, but we can choose the direction where he moves in. Maybe he's going to sneak up and scare our fish. And then our fish is going to run away. So let's go back to here and let's do build out. That means he's going to leave the slide. That's going to be a move out. But instead of that way, let's go to build out over here. How's that build out look? Let's do it this way. Right. Let him fly out away from that guy because he's afraid of that guy. And we'll do that fast. Now if I play it, it looks like this. I have to hit the arrow keys to make every one of these animations work at this point. Uh-oh, scary guy. I'm out of here. Escape. Okay, so that was, you go over here to play, and you can play the slideshow there. Now, let's make that move out faster, as he's scared. Now here is a way of making it all automatic. Once again, in Animate, down at the bottom here, Build Order. This one we're going to select. I can actually make this smaller if I want by grabbing that arrow. Move it around if I want. This is going to happen not on click, but after transition. I'm going to click on this, hold down the Shift key and click on this. All of these are going to happen after the previous build. Now let's watch it without me touching anything. It's like a true animation. He comes in, moves forward, scary guy, and he's gone. That is a very simple animation that you can get started with. We can take this a lot farther once we start making more of our own characters, and we learn more about, well, just about everything from vector graphics creation, making our own originals, and there's a lot more you can do with animation as well. Let's get that started for today. Good luck. With all that So here we go, we've got this made. Why don't I try and turn this into some kind of a poster? Could add other things in here. Shape, boat. Yeah, looks like a fisherman type boat here, right? Make it bigger. Change the color. Do you like it black? Do we like it white? Let's flip it around here. So format, arrange, flip it this way. Let's give it an outline perhaps. What will the border look like? Nice, looks a little bit more like an actual something we can use, doesn't it? And it's floating along, and maybe I even send that to the back. So it looks more like it's behind the waves there a little bit. Now what I can do if I'd like is I can, let's put it over here, say, could even make it look a little over here, tap, 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 like it's going up over that wave. And I could draw something like, let's get this here, and from the gas tank, right? Let's make it look like it's got a great big tap, tap, tap. It looks really wonky right now, but as you know, later on, we can change that by double tapping wherever we see a square. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make it look like there's an oil leak, right? Because it could be a poster telling people to take care of our oceans. Make it black. All right, I think that makes our point, doesn't it? We can put our fish over here. Make them a little bit bigger even maybe. And maybe we go for some text. This is good text. Lets us put in, if I tap on that now, I can do shift number 1 and I get an exclamation mark, right? So now, let's grab it and let's make it much bigger. So in text, format text, let's try 200. That's pretty big, yeah, I like that. We'll put this over here for our fish. If we wanted to, another shape we could go to is basic. We can get this bubble. Go to arrange, go backwards. And that's on top. I can't see it because it's black on black. So we need contrast here. So let's make it white, yes? Or actually, let's make this white instead. In fact, usually when we see these, they're white with a black border, aren't they? Much thicker. So here we've got the fish is very concerned about what's going on here. Move that around. Bring this into the center. If I shift click again, I have both things. With my arrow key, I can move it back a little bit. Hold down the shift key, moves back faster. Because I just realized I want some space for my text too, don't I? So let's go click, shift click, click. And we can go back over here. Remember, format, arrange, we can group it so it acts like one thing. Can make it maybe a little bit smaller. Tap, tap, move that up. We want that more in the center. Just use the arrow keys if you like. Tiny movements. And again, we can add some text. And we can say, don't pollute the ocean. Now this is way too small if it's a poster, right? Grab this, make it a bit smaller perhaps. Doesn't have to be huge. Don't pollute the ocean. Now you get the idea, right? So there we can have a poster. Now that could stand out a little better if perhaps we went to style over here and we added a shadow. And let's make it a bright shadow, like yellow maybe. And let's make it super dark and more offset. Even change the angles if we like. Probably a little less blurry would be good. So there you can play around with that. Do you think that stands out better? We could change the color again. We could go over here in the super light blue. How's that? That might match a little better. And that is how you can get yourself started with a poster. You can also do it in landscape by going to document over here and going to custom slide size, so just changing your width and height. All right, so let's get this finished and see what's next for you. All right, let's see our face. Oops, Command Z undoes things. I didn't group everything, so if I go Command A, it grabs everything, then Command Option G, as you know by now, groups it.
We're just going to play around with transitions and see what those do. A transition is going from one slide to the next. In fact, let's Command D, select this slide, right? Select the slide, Command D duplicates the slide. Let's do some practicing between going from this slide to the other one. If I'm hitting play over here, it actually plays and we go through them. If I don't select anything, I'm on the slide. In animate, it says transition. Let's just play around and see what they look like. Well, this one's nothing because it's exactly the same thing on both slides. Why don't I go over here, put this one over here, back over here, put this one over here, and let's see now what it looks like. So back to animate. Right now I selected the face, so now it's an animation, animating this object on the slide. If I don't select it, now I'm back to the slide. We can go preview, and that's what that transition looks like. Let's change it. Magic Move is awesome. It's right at the top. Maybe I'll show you right now. Because we have the same picture on both slides, Magic Move does this. It always reminds us. We can say don't show me again if we like. Okay. It looks like it's moving. That's what Magic Move does. So no matter what I do, even if I made this guy smaller over here, and I went back, see this little blue triangle? That means there's a transition. Let's try it now. This is really good, and I want to get back to that for some cool effects later. What else do we have? I want you to just go in and try them all. Droplet does this. This is literally all you need to do right now is play around and see which ones you like. Look, I can change the direction sometimes too, so it'll twist the opposite direction. Object push is kind of cool. And I can also do this different ways. This is all you need to do right now. Practice and play around with these transitions. They come in handy later when you get into digital storytelling and making animations and full stories. Have fun. Two-finger tap on it. That's two fingers like a peace sign. Copy image. Then you find your way back to your Keynote. Tap Command V. There it is. I can change the size around. Now this is about using Magic Move. So I'm going to grab once again the slide that I want is this one. I'm going to Command D like, I don't know, 4 times. And then I'm going to grab them all, Shift click all of these, and then I'm going to add the Magic Move transition. Now all I need to do is move my bird around. I can have this one start off and then have it fly in here. Let's see how that works. When I select the first one, it takes 2 seconds. Let's preview that. Then my bird flies in. Now we're here. Where do I want it to go next? Down here. Maybe it's gonna get smaller when it does that. Go back up here and preview that. Cool, right? And then over here, maybe I'll have them fly out really small. So now here we go. The only reason you see those arrows is because I'm casting them. So there you go. You've made an animation right there simply with a bird. You can draw your own bird if you like. I wanted to share mine because the point of this lesson is about the animation, not so much the drawing or the vector graphics creation. Now you have the opportunity to go through a series of different lessons that will help you make your very own Halloween animation.